So speaking of discriminations and things, because we're going to do two more topics and we're going to go to break. I don't know if y'all know this, but drag is currently under attack in good old America. So last week, Bill Lee, who likes dressing in drag, or dressed to drag back at the Disney, signed a bill prohibiting drag queens from performing in public spaces. Now, the new law will impose fines and even jail time on performers and organizers who defy the recent bill. The governor, of course, is facing backlash over his decision, and even pictures have recently resurfaced of Bill Lee appearing in drag, as I mentioned earlier. That is on my page, my Facebook page. Well, not my page, it's on my website. What am I talking about? ChrisAvalon.com. I did the whole article. The pictures up there if you haven't seen it. Now, over the weekend, last weekend, because I was like, now that I got a little political last week's episode, I said, I'm gonna continue to bring the politics into the show, especially if it affects us. And the gays and the drag queens are under attack. Now, last weekend, fans of Drag Race to the social media expressed their outrage over the bill, and a lot of the Drag Race girls have also spoken out. Now, Silky Nutmeg Ganache called out the so-called straight allies who frequent queer nightclub spaces over their silence. She did a TikTok on that and was like, you know what? I don't say nothing when y'all come up in the meet and greets and y'all be spilling your drinks and you do that, that, and the other, and y'all be heckling and doing all this other foolishness when y'all in their establishment. But now when it comes to us being under attack, y'all love the drag queens when they up there, being pigs in a wig, as Lady Bunny and Bianca Del Rio was saying. But when it comes to now, season 9 winner Bob the Drag Queen also took to Twitter to ask drag fans to put that same energy into fighting anti-trans and anti-drag legislation as they do into getting Real Friends of WeHo canceled and getting extended episodes of Drag Race reinstated. Which, sidebar, we back to the 90-minute episodes. That last night's episode was everything, especially that lip sync battle between Anitra and Marsha 3 times. Marsha. I call her Marsha 3 times. But yeah, when they did Boss Bitch by Doja Cat, bitch, it gave me my life. But anyway, so that one queen who goes by Baba Yana, by the way, wrote, if you watch Drag Race, Pose, Legendary, Dragula, etc., you need to make your choice heard. These anti-trans, anti-drag bills are actually starting to make their way through. And after they have, I think that's what she meant, have taken down trans and non-binary people, gay boys, you're next. Trust and believe. Yeah, we're seeing it happening. Like, there's a law. Didn't they just pass one in I think it was in Tennessee still. Or it might have been one of them damn Bible Belt states where they have people who work in the law offices who can literally, if you work in the law office and you're someone who is of interracial, like if you're a black man wanting to marry a white woman and vice versa, or if you're a queer person who wants to get married in your state of Tennessee, that fucking place, they can deny you getting a marriage certificate because it's against their personal beliefs. So this is the shit that they're passing currently in our country. So I want to play you these clips and everything, and then when we come back, I'll read you some more of the tweets, and then we'll get to RuPaul's response and all that good stuff. So, hold the clip. Unless that is.
Tennessee Governor Bill Lee signed a bill banning drag performances from public places and in non-age restricted areas. For Eureka, a drag performer from East Tennessee, this legislation is disheartening.
Honestly, I think the drag community feels very vulnerable in general just because of the attacks that we've received in the past, not just legislation, but also, we've had some really traumatic moments happen in nightclubs recently.
I gave a speech this last week that went viral on TikTok and Twitter and all these fucking platforms I don't have. And a lot of people are decrying that it is a call for violence. It is not. I'm telling you, y'all, I am not calling to arms. I am calling to action. Please, tell them that we have to take care of this now, because if they don't, they leave us with only one option. They get the bricks. They go all the way back to fucking Stonewall and have the brick is not a weapon. It is a fucking holy symbol.
That's right.
It is a divine focus through which I call upon the names of Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera and Stormy DeLarveray and all the other nameless queers at Stonewall who fought for our liberation.
Hey, look over there. A classic distraction technique, distracting us away from the real issues that they were voted into office to focus on. Jobs, healthcare, keeping our children safe from harm at their own school. But we know that bullies are incompetent at solving real issues. They look for easy targets so they can give the impression of being effective. They think our love, our light, our laughter, and our joy are signs of weakness. But they're wrong, because that is our strength. Drag queens are the Marines of the queer movement. Don't get it twisted and don't be distracted. Register to vote so we can get these stunt queens out of office and put some smart people with real solutions into government. And by the way, a social media post has never been as powerful as a registered vote.
Agreed. And you know, this is exactly why I do what I do. And I'm so glad that I have the platform that I have to spread the word that so many others are not going to do. You see all these little queens on social media, which I'm not going to worry about y'all. I'm going to do my show the way I want to do it. Like, not everybody has the ability and has the power and the influence to want to get up and be an activist and all other stuff. I've always had it in me. I've always been somebody who has been the voice for the voiceless, that has always spoken up against discrimination and shit. I used to fight bullies because I didn't like how they would pick on other people, so I would fight them. Like, that's always sort of been my situation, because I cannot stand people getting picked on. So I'm the one to go up to you and punch you in your fucking face. Fight me, motherfucker. That's how I've always been. So even if you're not somebody who wants to go out and channel your inner Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera and throw the brick inside, some buildings and turn over some police cars and willing to get arrested. There's so many other ways that you can go out and show your activism and show your pride. We show up for pride this season. We let our voices bear. Like, you cannot shut us the F up. We're going to be vigilant. We're going to march. Yeah, I'm channeling Debbie from Folk. We're going to march, and we're going to do this, and we're going to act up and all that. You know how they always get. But we're going to show our approach to other ways. Get out there and vote. Also, use your social media platforms to spread word. And that's what I've been doing throughout the week. Anything about drag queens and the hypocrisy of our nation and all these distractions and really trying to inform people and stuff, that's what I've been using my platform for this entire week. And that's what will continue to use this show for. Now, I'm glad that RuPaul spoke up. And, if y'all want to read all the other tweets and this and the, like from Jinx Monsoon and Ben de la Creme and Jackie Cox and Ginger Minge and Marty Gould Cummings. Well, I want to get to this one, though. You can definitely go over to my website, chrisavalon.com, and check out those tweets and those posts. But Marty Gould Cummings, because it's funny how we played the RuPaul video. Marty Gould Cummings, who y'all probably don't know, might not be familiar with the name, but if you're a person within the New York community, y'all know who Marty Gould Cummings is. Marty Gould Cummings is a prominent drag queen, someone who is very politically active, and has always been for years. Never been on Drag Race, but that still don't mean like she's not somebody who is well known within our community. She basically called RuPaul out on her silence and said this: now is the time for RuPaul, every past judge, corporations, to speak up against the legislation sweeping our nation against trans youth and drag artists. The suicide rate for queer youth is disproportionately higher than their peers, and we need to speak up for them now. This is what she said on March 5th before Ru came out and spoke on, I think it was it Wednesday or Thursday? So he basically said something. So that's why she brought it up. And then Ru came out and said something. Now, the question is, and I present this to you all as well. You can leave it in the comments. Is Ru obligated to speak out on such situations because she's on Drag Race, big platform, all that stuff. Because I heard some people say, yeah, she should speak out. And there's some people who's like, why should she have to speak out? Like, not everybody is the political queen, this, that, and the other. That's true if Ru has never been somebody who has been very politically active throughout her career, which she was back in the day. And she has made and Drag Race has been used in so many ways as a political situation. When they did the Rusical of Donald Trump, remember the one season they did where they were trying to get people to go out and vote? They've had Nancy Pelosi appear on the show. So when you have incorporated political things into Drag Race, it would behoove you to use that show or to use yourself to speak out in these situations. So yes, while I don't give a fuck if Ru speaks out or not, because I know the tea. I'm not saying of RuPaul personally, but I know in regards of like, I don't need a RuPaul to validate me in any old way. But for the nation, for the mainstream, for those of you who salivate at every word that come out of RuPaul's mouth and live by the Bible that is Drag Race, I do feel that he should speak out. And he did. I know some people felt like it wasn't enough and called the military, or what they call it, the militant of drag, or the what was it? The Marines of drag? That's what it was. Production, you messy for that. It was like, she doing a little too much with that. But I was like, well, you know, she's a drag queen. They got a flair for the dramatic. What else you wanted her to say? We the court justice? We the we the clowns in a wig. So I was like, Ru had to be all dramatic with the words, but I get it, because there are drag queens who have been out there who were in their geesh and they would be out there protesting, willing to get arrested, all that other stuff. So there's some girls who's not afraid of it. And so I'm glad that Ru spoke out. I'm glad a lot of the girls have spoken out. I'm glad Eureka O'Hara, who's from Tennessee, spoke out. Ora Mayari, who was on this current season of Drag Race. She's from Chicago, but she resides now in Tennessee. She's speaking out. So yeah, there are drag queens who currently live in Tennessee whose jobs are being affected. These people are not hurting anybody. They're not all trying to read the kids. Quiet as it's kept. There's a lot of gays that don't even like children. Don't want kids, regardless of what people may tell you. I know it, because you see all these certain things on TV, you think it's the law, but it's not. A lot of people don't care about these damn children. But then if people are reading the kids, they're not dealing with your children, not molesting them. Then we have a recent politician that got busted DMing some young boy or whatever, or writing in the comments about some 21-year-old. And then his publicist or somebody within his thing was like, oh, well, he's giving somebody a compliment. We know what that is. That's our PG version of the tapping under the damn bathroom stall. So these hypocritical Republicans, they do all kinds of shit. Mind you, I ain't never heard a drag queen molest nobody's child, but you hear about these church youth pastors, priests, people within the religious community molesting these children. Bunch of damn sicko pedophiles hiding within the church. Politicians out here can't stand gays and want to eliminate trans and drag queens, but y'all secretly married. Well, y'all married, but secretly having sex with young men behind your wife's back. So we're going to just continue to call them out with the hypocrisy. But before we take this break, because we have been going in and letting